Welcome. I am Sarita McLean, the Regional Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and it is so lovely to see all of you today. I'm so excited to be sharing the screen with two very capable young women, President of Whitehorse Rotaract, Alice Terrell, and from Walsen, Maryland Rotary, Sarah Hill. Sarah had submitted this session as a breakout for the 2022 Zone Conference in Canberra in October last year, and Alice and I joined in that session. So as we normally do, we will run through the session. We're sharing this session between Alice, Sarah, and myself, and we will have an opportunity for questions at the end. There is one breakout, so we will work out how we go. So I'll hand you over to Sarah now. Sarah.
Hey, welcome everyone. It's great to have you all here. I'm just going to set up the PowerPoint so we can all be seeing the same thing at the same time, which is wonderful. Okay, come on, slideshow. Fantastic. So welcome. As Sarita said, yes, this is basically a repeat of what we did at the Zone 8 conference. Just a little bit of a warning. While this is a seminar, it's a little bit more hands-on and interactive in order for you to kind of get the most out of it and to basically kind of share your ideas amongst each other and also do a little bit of actual learning and hands-on activities. So, as Sarita said, the three presenters are Alice from the Rotaract Club, Sarita from our Zone PR team, and then myself from the Rotaract Club of Walsen, Maryland. Sorry, Rotary Club of Walsen, Maryland. So behind the curtain, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of a snapshot into the Facebook page of Walsen, Maryland. You may have seen some of our posts. They do tend to go pretty viral, I'd say, in the Rotary sphere of information. And so I just kind of wanted to show you what's going on behind the scenes and then kind of show you how we do this. Just to note that we've decided to pick Facebook because it's the most common social media that Rotary has and Rotary uses. But what we're teaching you today and what we're talking about today can be basically copy and pasted over to Instagram and LinkedIn. But we're just not covering that today. And other social medias, there is also other ways to go about using some of what we're saying in those spaces. So we just wanted to give you a bit of a heads up on that. So Facebook has these metrics that they kind of talk to us about, but I just kind of want to give you a realistic understanding of what these are. So Rotary page reach is what they say is how many people are going to see what you've posted. That's what's going to pop up in their feeds when you're scrolling through Facebook. Whereas the page visits and the page likes are the actual count of people going to your page or liking a post. The audience is an estimation based on how many people have seen and then how many people have interacted with those posts. And the estimated audience size is then an estimation of the potential audience you may have with any given post. So there are a few different things. Now, Facebook page of Walsen, Maryland. So I took the data that we have from the back of the analytics of the back end of Facebook, and I've taken it from the 1st of April to the 30th of June, 2021 and 2022. The dark line is 2021, the blue is 2022. So in over a snapshot of a year, I wanted to show you what we were able to achieve. So as you can see here, for our reach, that is how many people are seeing things, we were able to increase that by 525%. For page visits themselves, people actually clicking into our page, 137%. And then for page likes or likes on our posts in our page, we were able to increase that by 175%, which is absolutely amazing. Now, what does that actually look like on the back end? The people that have liked our page is actually relatively small. As of recording this back in October, we only had 666 people that had liked our page, which is kind of interesting when I show you later on some of the posts. But what Facebook recommends our audience to be is up to 20 million people, which is mind-blowing. What you're able to do in the back end is search through potential audiences filters. So when we put in English-speaking people and a charity-based cause, we're able to limit that number down significantly, but the potential audience is still very, very high. And even if we take the lowest number of that, it's still 6 million people, which is really amazing, but also quite shocking. We're just a little Rotary club. We post regularly, but I want to show you what that potential can look like on everyday posts. So we're going to go through some different posts that you may or may not have seen. Sorry. So the different types of posts. This is an awareness post, right? National Science Week here in Australia. And this is what the posts look like in words and image. And our reach, we got over 3,300 reach. Again, we only have 666 people like our page that posts will automatically go out to. Everyone else, it's the algorithm pushing it out to by the different things that we do. And again, reactions, and so people hitting like, people commenting, people clicking through on any links. So this is kind of a post that's more about awareness and advocacy in a Rotary situation. Then we have something that's a little bit different. This was created not on Canva versus the other one, which was a little less, more graphically styled, promoting a neighbour Rotary Club's big fundraiser. But we were still able to get over 2,000 reach. And with that, we were also able to get results and reactions and things larger than we normally would. Again, the image isn't as graphically designed as the other one, but we still were able to get their attention to it. This is a post which is really common in Rotary. Photos of us in action, doing what we do, saying what we've done. Really great thing. This was our Lismore drought appeal, basically shipping stuff up north and saying how much we'd raised, all that kind of stuff. And still we're able to get consistently really good reach. As you can see, this one doesn't have any hashtags or any links. And yeah, it's about half the amount of reach of the last one, which is important to note, but it still gets a lot and considerably more than what the page likes are. And even for something that's even more simpler, it's just a single photo with a little blurb. Because of what we do and the way we market our Facebook, it automatically goes out to more people see it. So even if you're just doing something really simple and the PR person or the Facebook person isn't the one posting it, it's just a member of the club, and they just do something simple, it still goes out to more people. So it's still a really good system to have. But how did we do this? What do we do? It's really 3 simple steps, very simple steps. Community, content, and connections. And that's what it comes down to. It's kind of amazing to think that it is just those 3 things, but it really is. So I'm going to pass you over to Alice now, and she's going to talk to you about community.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yes, so I'm here and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about community and just identifying your community. Oh, there we go. Okay. So in a digital sense, community is who you are to the world. It gives you the opportunity to define your club or district or whatever it is you're representing, and how you present to the world. Which is a really unique opportunity. And these days, when people are looking into something that they don't know about, the first place they go is Facebook to see and get an idea of what that organisation is doing. So it's really important. And it also gives your club the opportunity to stand out. Rotary is known for a lot of things, and there are a lot of perceptions about what Rotary is, but we all know that each club is different. We all have different things that, different projects the clubs are working on, different causes they really value. And so using Facebook to really establish your community gives you the opportunity to make yourselves unique from the rest of Rotary and actually really distinguish who you are as an individual club. So people use social media generally to connect with other people, generally as like-minded people, and also to learn is the other reason people are online. So your Rotary Club should always be a supportive, welcoming, non-judgmental and non-critical space. That's really important. If it doesn't pass the 4-way test, don't post it, is a general rule there. And it can take time to establish that online community, but start following similar pages, relevant pages, so you can follow, like, comment and share other, it could be other Rotary clubs, it might be other organisations within your area, it might be other causes that you support. Start actually connecting with them, liking their posts, commenting on what they're doing. And that slowly starts to build that community. And then conversely, make sure when you're making posts that you tag any relevant people, pages or groups on your posts. And the reason that that's really important is it makes it easy for them to see. An example of this would be at Christmas time, my club, we went to Kmart and did the wishing tree. So we bought presents and left them under the wishing tree. And we tagged Kmart in that, and they commented and replied. And because of that, because a lot of people follow Kmart, that post got a lot of views. And if we hadn't have tagged Kmart, they wouldn't have known, they would never have commented. So those tags are really important. When we think about online community as well, it can also be location based, which is probably what you're used to. It's who else, the other groups and people in your area that you connect with, but it can also be cause based. So we're allowed to think really far beyond the confines of your geographical area and start connecting with organisations on the other side of the world as well. So yeah, it's really important to think beyond the Rotary name as well. I think sometimes there can be a little bit of competition with other organisations that are doing similar things in similar areas, but they're not a part of competition, they're a part of your community. There's a Rotary Club near me that frequently shares the Lions Club post in a similar area to them. And it just really builds that sense of community because the overarching goals and values are similar. So just working to connect not just with other Rotary clubs, but also other organisations that have similar values and support similar causes is a really, really nice way to be establishing that community. And they're probably organisations that you're already working with as well. These, you don't have to go out and find new, novel organisations, but who are you working with in the community? And location, like I said, communities can be location based, and they still are a lot of the time, but you can also go beyond that. Another thing, thinking about location, is as well as, you know, your tagging and all of that, and I know Sarah's going to talk a little bit more about that sort of thing coming up. Another thing that you can do is check in. So with Facebook, there's the option to add the location, and that can be a really nice way. You know, if your club meets at a restaurant and you put a photo from that meeting, you can put the location as the restaurant, and that's just a nice little shout out and ad for them. And again, it's all about building that community and connection every step of the way. So I'm going to make you have a little bit of a think. So what I want you to do, and I just want you to start throwing some ideas into the chat, is who in your community are you relating with, working with, supporting, and who's supporting you? What are the organizations, the people, the groups? Are they geographical, or are you actually connecting with organizations that are far away? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes, just type some answers into the chat, and we'll just have a look at them as they come in. Yeah, local councils are a really big one, Margaret.
Misspelling, sorry.
That's okay. You are also welcome to unmute and speak as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, local councils, supermarkets. Yeah, that's really cool.
Local schools, yes, schools.
Local MPs, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Other Rotary clubs. Mm-hmm. Community notice boards is a really good one to be aware of, or like local community groups, because it means that you're seeing what else is going on in the community. You're less likely to, for example, decide to host an event on the same day that you know that the Lions Club is hosting an event if you think there's going to be overlap of people that want to attend. So that's a really good thing to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sporting groups is a really big one. Rotary alumni pages, so your Muna Ryla, Youth Exchange, universities, absolutely. Yeah, and cafes, men's shed, yep. So all of these groups, and notice how everything that you've posted, if someone was reading this and didn't know, when I asked the question, do you relate with them, work with them, support them, or do they support you? It can all go both ways. It can all go in ways. So this community, it's not one set give and take relationship. It's really, it's dynamic and it's quite fluid. Organizations that you're donating to, 100%. And the chances are as well, if you're donating a substantial amount and you make a post about it, that organization might then share your post. Then other people are going to be like, oh, what's this club that donated money? And have a look. Yeah, local businesses. So basically, anywhere that you're going, anyone that you're communicating with, they're going to have a Facebook page, and you want to connect with it and make sure that you're following it, you're liking relevant posts, and that you're tagging them when you post things about them. So that's a little, meeting speakers as well. Yeah, 100%. Tag them, because chances are as well, they might want to share that and share that with the world. So you posting that and tagging that is really good. So with that, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea about community and about having an online community. And I'll pass to Sarah. Oh no, I'm passing over to Sarita to talk about content.
Fantastic. Thank you, Alice. So in terms of the content, it is one of the key elements to creating a successful Facebook post. So content is this actual content or information that is being shared in the post. Information that will promote engagement, drive those clicks, and build relationship with the audience. So the content of the post should be tailored to the user's interests and needs. And as Alice has said, and I think Sarah did talk about, if you're targeting a specific age group, you might want to tailor content to the interests of that age group. Or if you're targeting a specific geographical area, you might want to tailor your content to the needs of that area. So in addition to tailoring content, it is important to make sure the content is clear, concise, and engaging. Long drawn-out posts can be difficult to read and understand. So focusing on those shorter sentences to get your points across quickly and easily. And when creating content, it is important to include visuals, and we're all very, very visual people, so we would certainly want to have that. And so visuals help to draw attention to the post and make it more engaging. And the visuals can include photos, infographics, videos, and other types of media. So when you're displaying these photographs, using pictures and photographs, I always have to make sure that you, and I guess it's just also, when you're running events, get an official photographer. I mean, official as in, you know, you might have somebody within your event planning team who is happy to take photographs, and just assign that one task to that person to take those photographs. And because quite often it might be the last thing that somebody thinks about is taking photographs of the event, and there's like one person doing several different jobs, which is normally what we do in Rotary. So one person to take photographs, and that's their main job. So they can take these photographs from several different angles and tell the stories in lots of different ways, and you can use those at, you know, various times to promote. It has to be high resolution, and once again, make sure that you've asked permission if it's about people. It's a whole range of the do's and don'ts around taking pictures. Also, making sure the content is relevant to the user. If it's not relevant, it's going to be missed or ignored. Up to date and relevant to the user's interest. The other thing also have to mention is use the brand center to ensure compliance to the Rotary brand in terms of the colors, and if you want to make sure that the colors are the right colors, the fonts that you're using. There are some good templates in here. You can certainly go and use. So you can follow these steps, and you can use content to maximize the success of your Facebook posts, engage your audience, and build those relationships. So we're going to look at a small activity, and this is your breakout for today. So we've assigned you to 3 groups, and the activity that we're going to get you to do is, and the group that you have been assigned, and so I'm going to randomly assign you to one of those groups. And one of the groups is going to look at how you're going to promote a polio event. This is Facebook post. How are you going to write your Facebook post? How would you promote a local barbecue fundraiser? And the third group is how would you promote a district event? So pretty much what we're wanting is that to write a Facebook post to try and promote one of these events. So I've given you 5 minutes to actually get this done. Okay, so everyone's back. So very quickly, can I please hear back from the group which was promoting that polio event?
Oh, nobody.
Who's going to talk?
I suggest Alice might like to facilitate back on that, report back on that. She was overseeing all of it.
Okay, thank you, Elaine.
I was just listening. I wasn't really contributing though.
No, but as a listener, you probably do the best summary.
I think some of the really key things was making sure that there's a really good photo that is going to be eye-catching. So the suggestion for that was to have the bright red t-shirts, because that's such a key thing. Also, I guess that was maybe like a post-event promotion. Pre-event, it was looking at having some sort of poster. Again, probably that, you know, the red, getting the End Polio Now logo and having that. And then keeping the actual text that went along with the poster really snappy, explaining why End Polio Now is such an important cause. Yeah, did I capture all the key points we sort of spoke about?
Thank you, Alice. So promoting the local barbecue fundraiser. I think, Sarah, you were in that group, weren't you?
I was, you know, we had a few good speakers if anyone wants to speak. I'll take that as a no. So we were talking about, you know, when you're doing a fundraiser for some other cause or someone else, you know, making it action orientated. So where the money's going to go and why that's a good thing, and promoting it as a terms of action and action to support this charity and why it's so important and where the money's going to go and how it's going to help, and having a lot of the promotion around that and around like action words and catchy action words for that promotion and for promoting what good that's going to do. So that was our main discussion.
Fantastic, thank you. And the last group about promoting a district event.
Okay, folks, do you want me to do it? This is Deirdre. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you, Dee. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we talked about having a very clear image that was bright, colourful, eye-catching. Obviously, would feature the Rotary logo, and if it was as a district thing, it would potentially be the district logo. But it needed to be simple. We needed to tag related activities or organisations. And although I didn't mention this within the group, for me at this particular point in time, it's about promoting the Peace Communities program, which has been going for 30 years and is the forerunner to the Peace Builder clubs that's established within Rotary. But this local thing for us is celebrating that birthday and having a bit of a hoorah party for it. So it's about promoting our Peace Begins With Me Plus You, which is an easy graphic to be able to be eye-catching, and then going through the principles of the Peace Credo, which are being converted from now, beginning with nouns to the actions that I alluded to before. So how you can actually go about developing peace in your own community could then be each of those different images for future things. So if you started with that initial one, then you can have smaller ones that are related to it to be continued. If you wanted to add in some text, it would obviously be those things that are relevant to whatever the project is about. And so you would then be able to, in this case, tag in the local council, local other community groups that have volunteering and service to the community as their principal way of doing things. And that way that you can then tag other clubs, other service clubs, and other local organisations, and include things like the Multicultural Council and so on.
Great. So lots of different ways of doing it. And so fantastic. Thank you all for your contribution to this activity. And so certainly some food for thought when you go on and start putting your Facebook posts for your clubs or for your districts. So now I'm going to pass you over to Sarah so she can finish off on the connection section. So Sarah, back to you.
Fantastic. Okay, so connections, we're going to go through some different ways to do it on Facebook and also explaining some differences there. So hashtags. So hashtags are essentially, you've all seen them, they're the pound signs with the words or the kind of sentence streams. They boost engagement and reach, and Facebook has in 2022 said that they do actually accumulate to your audience or potential audience. They're searchable, which is really great. So if you go into the search bar of Facebook and you're looking up a topic, hashtags will be part of that search algorithm for what you're looking for. And it also links similar content in your feed. So for example, if you are very much looking at, you very commonly looking at, cats, for example, anything that's hashtag cats will more likely appear in your feed. So, you know, my feed's full of Rotary stuff. Why? Because I post and also look at a lot of Rotary things, and the algorithm's like, oh, you like Rotary things. And so if people like your stuff, comment on it, click through, the hashtags are going to be part of that. And if there's one that you continuously use for your club or for your zone, you know, Rotary Oceania is the one I put on a lot of ours. It continuously keeps coming, and it kind of brings them all together, which is really, really good. Sorry about that. So the next one's mentioning, and what I say atting. Now, technically, atting is the old form of tagging, but I say it's different to tagging, because tagging is you typing them all down at the bottom and just like running through a list to get attention of that place or location, which you can still do and is a valid way to combine things and to combine topics and what you've talked about. But mentioning is much better if it's in the text, if you're putting that person or place within what you're saying in the text of what you're saying. So it's very useful to have, and I'm sure Alice said, like, you know, they tagged Kmart. They would have tagged Kmart in a way that was within the text of saying we're at Kmart. And so that would have been part of it. And it's part of making it seem like it's a coherent sentence, even though you can see an example that I've showed, the atting or, you know, the tagging is actually at the end, but it sounds like a continuous sentence, which is a trick. It's really important to talk about and include in this, not just people, but also places and subjects that are you're interested in. So, for example, with Rotary, there's like many, but fellowships, action groups, zones, different clubs, things like that. It's very important to include them here, even if it is you just including them at the bottom or within the text itself. And there's a lot of different things you can do, and also a lot of different things you can do, like when I'm talking about education, I will, being in New South Wales, at New South Wales Education while I'm talking about it, to incorporate them into the discussion that I'm trying to start. And that's what this is. You're trying to get attention and start basically getting eyes on it. Now, keywords and links. So I'm going to start with links first. If there is a link, people can take action and click. When people click, it tricks, well, doesn't trick, it tells the algorithm they're interested. That's a reaction to your page. That's an action, and that's really good. To find links, the best ways that I like, there's some great stuff. Sorry, my dogs are being weird. There's some great stuff on the Rotary page. The Rotary's got 2 blogs that are fantastic, have topics on everything. Just go and search and link to a relevant article, or link to another reliable source outside of Rotary on the topic. So the World Health Organization, if you're talking about polio or something like that. So you can have the action of people clicking, which will get more people interested. It tells them and gives them an actionable thing to do. And it's really, really important that you can kind of show that in a way. The next thing is finding trending words and topics and knowing how to use them. Now, this is a little bit more difficult, I would say. This is about understanding keywords and how to go look for, sorry, my dogs, how to go look for other relevant keywords. So when we type in Rotary, just so you know, the first keyword that pops up is Rotaract, because Rotaract is more popular with hashtags than Rotary is, which is good on them, but shows you that keywords and hashtags are more popular with, you know, Rotaract than they are with Rotary. And it's really important to use these tools to look for keywords and to also look for trending hashtags that are associated with what you're talking about. Because we may be talking about a campaign for, you know, drought relief, and we may be talking about all these things we're doing, but have we actually looked at what is associated with drought? What other words is associated with that we can bring in and get people, again, get people engaged and start a conversation about our content, about what this is, the story we're saying, and what we want them to be involved in. And so sometimes we want to keep it within the Rotary world, but we also want to add some more interest. And other times we want to make sure that we're staying really loud to the world outside. And when we're doing that, we want to make sure we've got a lot of things connecting it to bring in more and more people. And the easiest way I found to do that is finding connecting keywords and hashtags that really, really help. It's really, really useful. The other good thing is if you want to know what's the best time to post anything is Google Trends. It tells you if there's a seasonality time for specific things. You'll be amazed what you'll find. And so what we're going to do now in my activity is we're actually going to have a look at Google Trends. So I'm going to paste a link into the chat and you can all hit it. And what I want you to do is when you click that link, it's going to take you to the trends page, which is essentially this page. And I just want you to search Rotary International. That's it. Search Rotary International and let's have a discussion about what you see there. What you see, what you thought you would see, and what you actually see. Because I think it might be a little bit different to what you think. So if you click the link that I've posted through Trends, hopefully enough of you can get this to work. I think you're going to find some interesting trends that pop up. So anyone got it to work? Oh, we're still struggling. I can show you on this end if let me show you. So when you go into Google Trends, can everyone see?
Yeah, mine looks like that.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. So I've got Rotary, Rotary International, and Rotary Foundation, the three different.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, no one's searching for Rotary Foundation, apparently. No one knows what it is, and unfortunately, some Rotarians don't know what it is either. So that's telling that our community, the outside community doesn't know, and maybe we don't know either. And then Rotary, of course, is trending higher than Rotary International. Now that makes sense because we use the term Rotary more than we say Rotary International, right? But when we have a look, we scroll down just a little bit, we see that Rotary is kind of more associated with the Rotary engine or Rotary scissors. They're not really, it's not really us. Whereas Rotary International is actually us. It's our convention, Probus, Rotary Exchange, all of those things. So what is actually more people kind of looking for Rotary International and us and what we do is actually under the Rotary International kind of tab. So if we delete those two and we just look at Rotary International in order to have a look at the trends, you'll see that it's not very flat at all. It kind of amazingly, it like dips right around Christmas, which kind of makes sense, but it also dips in mid-April, there's some very interesting like peaks, like there's a big peak in early March for some reason, a peak in beginning of July, a peak around mid-October. There are things you're just like, oh, okay, I'm trying to think like what that is in the Rotary calendar. Not really sure. So it's not necessarily, sometimes like the best time to like really push Rotary, like during Rotary, is going to be March, weirdly enough. Why? Because more people are looking at us. It's one of those things that we can use this to really really show this is when people are looking at us. Let's kind of put our best foot forward in a way. And we can use this to be a bit more mindful of, you know, I would recommend that if we're putting things up in April, that we put up the cause-based stuff, not the Rotary-based stuff kind of thing. And this is how we make those decisions. This is how we look at these trends, and we use them to help us. You know, Rotary is, we never put anything about Rotary over Christmas. That's a big no-no. Only about all of the other things we do. So this is one of the tools we use for connection. This is one of the tools we use to make sure we're making the right connection to our communities and putting out the right content at the right time in order to make this work. So I'm going to go back to our slideshow. Just give me a second. And okay. And yeah, I hope that did go back to the slideshow. Did it, Sarita?
I went to
Okay.
questions, yes.
Any questions? We've got a few questions in the chat. I'm just going to scroll up so I can see. Do people boost their posts? So yes, you can pay to boost your posts. Everything I've shown you from the Walls and Maryland, we don't pay to boost our posts. It's all organic. It's all just what we've done by using these different things. So all of these things is just what we've done. And so, but you can pay to boost posts, and Facebook will, you know, put them up more regularly and kind of decide to do those things. March could be learning and development training in pets. That's very possible. And that's probably also conferences are usually between February and March kind of thing. Yes, that's possible. Early registration. Yep, that's definitely a thing.
Sarah, I'm going to stop the sharing. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's better.
Okay, and then we have a few people, I think, with their hands raised. Or
Sarah, I had a question about the tagging, certainly with the use of the ampersand. It drives me mad in Facebook. It seems to be inconsistent sometimes as to actually being able to find an organization or a person when you put the ampersand there to find them, to put them into your text. I've had it sometimes where it'll find it and bring them up, and then other times where it's just, it won't. And I would have found that one before. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Really difficult. So I have this trouble too, particularly with government organizations or ones that are Department of Name Change, and you're just like, yo, stop changing your name. So the things I find that make it easier, if you have personally liked the page, or your club's Facebook page has liked the page that you're posting through, they're more likely to come up first. The other thing is I sometimes open up a separate page. I look for the page I'm looking for, and they usually have their @ like it in lowercase or uppercase with all the combinations there. And I sometimes just copy it over because it's easier that way. If you're more generic, kind of trying to find, like sometimes with mental health, I'll do like New South Wales mental health, and I'm trying to look for different people and different providers. I will do that to just kind of see what pops up, and the list can kind of, you can scroll through the list, and that gives you a chance to go, oh yeah, I know who they are, I'm going to add them, or I haven't heard of them, I might have a look, yeah, they're a good one, I'll add them. So yeah, there's two ways to do that. If you've liked them or followed them, either you or the page you're posting through, it's more likely to pop up. When I'm doing like really big ones, or when I'm sitting down and scheduling a whole week, I will have another Facebook page open, and I will just be doing that to save me frustration. Because it is frustrating sometimes. That's kind of the best hints I can give you on that.
Thank you.
Marilyn has a hand up. Marilyn.
Yes, I just wanted to ask about posting posts about club meetings. I guess it's one of my bugbears and something I'd try to discourage. But I see a lot of clubs posting lovely photos of, not necessarily very lovely photos of the backs of people's heads in the back of the room with a person, you know, in the far distance who might have been the person proposing the toast or the person who was the public speaker, and it's on their public Facebook page, and doesn't seem very appealing to me to want to get people to want to join Rotary when they see posts like that. So I'm just interested in comments from you, anybody in the team or anybody else.
Obvious.
Yeah.
So obvious.
The thing with Rotary is that there's kind of a few ways to see this. You could say that is, you know, not showing our best foot forward, in the sense that it's not the best taken photo with the best angle, with the best editing. And that's the truth, but it's a realistic photo action shot of what Rotary is. And sometimes those action shots speak 1,000 words. That's showing great fellowship, great interest, great, you know, leadership in the person that's speaking. So perhaps it's about reframing what that photo is actually saying. Our action shots, if we're lucky, we have someone with a good camera and who can frame it really well and knows what they're doing. I do not know what I'm doing when I take photos, but if you give them to me, I can make them look kind of okay in Canva. But I can't take fantastic photos, and some of mine have turned out like that. It happens. You know, sometimes I'm not fantastic and don't get the lighting or the angle right, but they're realistic action shots of who we are in Rotary. And so sometimes focus on the fellowship, focus on the leadership, focus on the camaraderie that's there in the room, because that's also who we are. And if we shift it in our text and our messaging and what we say, then that's okay. Sometimes we're covered in dirt from planting trees and we do not look nice. The Rotary sign is covered in mud, and because we have been busy doing busy Rotary work out and about, and that's okay. Like, that's because we're being Rotarians doing the job.
I'd rather see photos of people covered in dirt doing something out in the open than
Agreed.
focusing on meetings. And I guess that was my point, because, you know, how many people generally that are not in Rotary find the whole idea of going to a meeting attractive. So that was, I guess, my point, not so much the quality of the photo, or that can be a key. And I think you can do some, there are opportunities in some club meetings to take appropriate photos and post appropriate messages, but I think we have to be really careful about emphasizing that, you know, we just go to meetings all the time.
If I can.
Yeah. And I think it's, yeah, thank you, Marilyn. I think it's also all of the training comes, you know, when people attend, President-elect attend their training, when the club board members attend, or club members attend the district training. This is where all of the things are talked about. So sometimes they don't attend, and so they miss the opportunity. We've talked about on our sessions here about taking good photographs and the things which they shouldn't, well, the shoulds and shouldn'ts that they should be, you know, doing. So there's a lot of information available. So I guess it's just, we just have to you know, take a deep breath and just go, you know, we'll help you promote it. But sometimes clubs just do not want to listen, just do not want to. And I think we just have to kind of move on to the clubs who are wanting to listen, and it is frustrating. I do hear you, I really do. So and that's all we can do, with the time and what we have available, the resources we have available. So yeah, but definitely. And Dawn has said, does it show people of action? If not, there's some questions that you need to ask. If it doesn't, maybe not. But those are the rules that people need to know about. I mean, you and I know about all of this, but the other people, our fellow Rotarians, might not be aware of some of these things. So yeah, we can certainly show all of that.
I just want to jump in as well.
Yeah.
And say with a photo of a meeting, it depends what it shows, I think, a lot of the time. If it's showing people sitting there in a meeting, looking bored, maybe it is backs of heads, it's probably not the best to show. But also a lot of the meeting photos that I see looks like a group of friends chatting over a meal. And if that's what your meeting photos look like, I think that's a lovely thing to share, because yes, Rotary is about doing things, but it's also about that camaraderie and that friendship. And I think if you have a photo of a meeting that shows that, I think that's a really beautiful thing to be sharing, and like a really lovely thing to share. So I think you'd want to be careful with posting photos of meetings and how often you post them, but I don't think it's a point blank, don't ever share it, because it's a part of what Rotary is. And those friendships that you form in Rotary are a really appealing thing as well.
Yeah.
They're all in moderation.
Well, yeah, I guess, if we have one of those ones to 5 of the positive ones, I think I'll be happy with it. But let's just aim for that. Any other questions anyone has? Any comments? Okay. Well, as always, share this information with your clubs. We'll send out the recording, so most welcome to share it widely within your district Facebook pages or district pages, websites, etc. And if there's any help you need in this public image space, as always, you can ask one of your district public image chair, or you can certainly ask the Zone Public Image team. So thank you so much for your attention and your passion. Enjoy the rest of your day.